Hi, welcome back to Tina's Hideaway. Today I want to show you a recipe that we use for making our own Italian sausage seasoning. So we started making this because with all the inflation prices and you go into the grocery store, the grocery bill is just so high. So we're trying to find ways to save money, and this is one way that we found to save money. So we like doing a lot of Italian dishes, and with those Italian dishes we need Italian sausage. But buying Italian sausage in the store can be sometimes $5.50 a pound. So what we started doing is we started finding pork loin on sale at the grocery store. And we'd find it on sale for $1.99 a pound, but then it would need to be ground. So if you have a mixer like this, this is a lem mixer. We originally bought this just for deer hunting and processing it's not a mixer, it's a grinder, sorry. But we bought this for when we go deer hunting and we process our own meat. And so we would only use it once a year. Well, we started finding more and more ways to use it. So even though it's an expensive investment, it ended up paying for itself in the long run because we use it for our gardening in the summer, for when we're doing canning. It makes life a lot easier. And then also with buying meat on sale, and then we grind it ourselves and throw it into the freezer. So we can, instead of spending $5.50 a pound for Italian sausage, we now buy the pork, grind it ourselves, package it in the sizes that we want. And then now I found a recipe that we like, and of course every recipe I find I tweak it so that it's what we want. So I want to share it with you today so there can be a way cheaper way of having Italian sausage seasoning that you can add. Once this is all made, it takes 1 tablespoon per pound of meat. And when you do a tablespoon of it, you can really just level it off. Don't have a heaping one, otherwise it does get a little overpowering. This recipe is a total of 15 different spices. Of the 15, 7 of them I grow myself in my garden, so that also helps save a lot of money. When I arrange all of these to make it easier for me, I arrange it by the amounts that we put in. So this first row is 2 teaspoons of each. The second one is 1 teaspoon of each. And the last one is a half a teaspoon of each. Now, you can obviously multiply this recipe to make it easier to make. I know I'm running a little bit low on garlic powder, so I probably only have enough for 1 batch, so that's all I'm going to make today. So I'm going to start out, and I will put the whole recipe in the description below, so if you want to try it, you can, and of course you can always tweak the recipe to your liking. Okay, first of all, salt. So we need 2 teaspoons of each. Fennel seed. 2 teaspoons of this. This container we ended up getting at L&M Supply for 99 cents. So if you shop around for your seasonings, you can find seasonings that are a lot more reasonably priced. So don't buy the most expensive you can find. You can find good deals on this. And then when you do find a good deal, I usually stock up. Cayenne pepper, 2 teaspoons of this. And garlic powder. This is the one I'm running low on. That's why we can only do 1 batch today. Alright, in this next row, we can only do 1 teaspoon of each. So, black pepper, oregano, which is dried out of my garden. Anytime I dry my herbs, I dry them in the dehydrator, and then I use this Cuisinart food processor. I picked this up for about $35 at Fleet Farm, but I use it for all my herbs to grind them up. I also use it for saving my eggshells, and I bake them, and then I grind them up, and I feed them back to the birds, or you can use them in your garden. There's lots of good ways to do that also. And then usually when I do my own herbs too, if you store them in a glass jar, they'll stay fresh longer. And if you start doing your own herbs, you're going to notice how much more fresh they taste than the store-bought. 1 teaspoon basil. and paprika. So now this stack is all a half a teaspoon. So these are leeks that I grow in my garden, and I knew we couldn't use them all up, and leeks are only supposed to be used if you're cooking them in food. So I knew I was not going to be able to use them all up before they would go bad. So I dehydrated them, and they turned out awesome, and they work great in this recipe. So oh, it does fit in there. And thyme is out of my garden also. Rosemary, also out of my garden. Sage, out of my garden. Parsley, out of my garden. You can even just see the nice green color of having your own fresh herbs. It's just way better than anything you buy in the store, and the flavor is awesome for whether it's for soups or for adding to your eggs or any recipe pretty much. So celery seed, this one I'm going to have to open the second one because I don't have enough in there. Just combine these. And the last one is smoked paprika. So now when you have all of this, you can mix it together. What I recommend is for when you have your jar that you're going to store this in, if you see, you can see that the larger spices come to the top compared to the bottom where it's all the smaller stuff. So what I recommend doing is making sure you have some kind of a jar that you can fit your tablespoon into, because you're going to want to mix it up a little before you use it. And this way you get an even distribution of all of the seasonings. And then I'm just going to mix this stuff together. The spices had a little bit of chunks there, but there is some Italian sausage seasoning, so you don't have to spend so much on the meat. Now, when I put this into the jar, this is a tool used for canning. I do a lot of canning, but this also doubles for when I'm grinding any of my fresh herbs. It fits into any of the canning jars that you may be storing your herbs in, and it pours it in there really easy so you don't spill everywhere. And I do the same thing to pour this into that jar. And then whenever I start getting low on this, I just mix up another batch. And a lot of times I'll do a double batch if I have enough of everything. Any comments or anything, please put them down below and I'll try my best to answer you. If this was useful, please subscribe and like. See you next time.